This is SCP Radio Network coming to you live from Skylab Studios. Up next is the Super Tejano Friday Show with your hosts, DJ Fluffy, Cece, and Mickey D.
Pues ¿qué le voy a hacer? Ya que te vas para nunca volver, ya tú te fuiste, pues ¿qué le voy a hacer? Tú ya hallaste el camino de no volver, pues tómala suave, ahora yo sé perder. No me dejes a mí, no me dejes así, sin tu amor ya no quiero, no puedo seguir, no quiero sufrir, sin tu amor ya no puedo. A mí, no me dejes así, sin tu amor ya no quiero, no puedo seguir, no quiero sufrir, sin tu amor ya no puedo. Ay, mi amor, te quiero tanto, pero yo sé que no me quieres. Hoy te hablo, por favor, no me dejes.
Yo te quería tanto, tanto, pero ya se acabó el amor. Ya no te quiero, ni tu corazón quebrado.
No me dejes a mí, no me dejes así, sin tu amor ya no quiero, no puedo seguir, no quiero sufrir, sin tu amor ya no puedo. Ya que te vas para nunca volver, ya tú te fuiste, pues ¿qué le voy a hacer? Ya que te vas, nunca volver. Nada gano con llorarte si tú ya estás decidida. Yo no puedo retenerte si tú estás convencida que tienes otro amor que ocupa mi lugar y que de mi dolor, ¿qué importa? Que tengo que olvidar lo mucho que te amé y no volver a pronunciar tu nombre. ¡Qué tropieza! ¡Qué hipocresía! Tú a mi lado presumías, pretendías que me querías y yo tonto que te creía. Esperanza, por amor o por costumbre. Ven y calma mi tristeza. Nada gano con llorarte si tú ya estás decidida. Yo no puedo retenerte si tú estás convencida que tienes otro amor que ocupa mi lugar y que de mi dolor, ¿qué importa? Que tengo que olvidar lo mucho que te amé y no volver a pronunciar tu nombre. ¡Qué tropieza! ¡Qué hipocresía! Tú a mi lado presumías, pretendías que me querías y yo tonto que te creía. ¡Qué tropieza! Esperanza, por amor o por costumbre. ¡Qué tropieza!
No me engañará más, tus besos ya no saben igual. Otro cabrón te roba el sueño y ya no eres mía, pero te quiero igual. No vuelvas a mí aunque te quiero, no vuelvas a mí aunque te extraño. Te necesito aquí, pero tu amor ya no es para mí. Todavía me acuerdo de ti, todavía siento que estás junto a mí. Ni el tiempo ni el espacio podrán borrar lo que me hiciste soñar. Creas en mí una nueva ilusión, me recordaste que existe el amor. Y aunque perdida estuvo mi alma, ya no estarás más junto a mí. momentos felices contigo pasé. Después de esto olvidarte no podré. Y aunque mi corazón te anhela a ti, sé que con otro tú eres feliz. Todavía me acuerdo de ti, todavía siento que estás junto a mí. Ni el tiempo ni el espacio podrán borrar lo que me hiciste soñar. Creaste en mí una nueva ilusión, me recordaste que existe el amor. Y aunque perdida estuvo mi alma, ya no estarás más junto a mí. Ya no estarás más junto a mí. Ya no estarás más junto a mí.
Gracias, mi amigo Santiago Garza, de la naturaleza.
You're watching SCP TV.
studio. You guys should have like a cat, and then they just
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
they get their awareness. Just a thought. Just a
Hey,
thought.
hey, you don't want to make it longer than what it is already. It's already long enough. You trying to make it longer?
No, but when they go down, they can just flip it over.
Yeah, that would be nice. It's something different, you know.
It'll be cute.
And if at the end of the day, everybody, choom.
Yeah, at the end of the ceremony.
All right, well, we want to welcome you guys. You know, hey, first of all,
Thank you.
congratulations. Sorry that we couldn't be out there. You know, with that, but of course, Mary Jane was out there. You know, we're looking forward to being out there with y'all and you know, celebrating y'all, this special day for y'all. You know, so Sam, tell us a little bit. I mean, you got inducted for which category?
For drummers.
For drummers. For drummers. Okay, so how does that feel?
Oh, it's
you know?
a great achievement. I mean, believe me, I'm still on a cloud.
Yeah.
You know, and
They
still
were
just
both on stage at the same time.
Yeah.
so they both
Yeah, both two drummers. Two drummers in Houston, you know.
he got called first, and I was right behind.
Oh, so you're behind them? Okay. You know.
No, and like I said, it's a great honor, and it's something that I mean, I was happy to take my mom to see this.
Oh,
One thing, I took
nice.
my mom with me.
Nice.
And
That's
and
great.
That to her, it meant a whole lot. My daughter was there too. My son couldn't make it, but he was working. But my son said, well, you know, I mean, things gotta. But I know, that, you know, that's the way it happens.
Yeah.
I wish I would have had him there too. You know, and well, you know, like I said, my dad, he was looking down from heaven.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, that's good.
That's a big thing, and I just when I got the deal, I just showed him. I said, "Here it is."
Uh-huh.
You know, so,
There you go. So how many years you been in this industry drumming?
Oh well, I started when I was about 10 years old. It's 8 years old. Started out with my grandfather with Conjunto Santa Fe. You know, and that's when I started, and then went in with my dad when he was playing with Eloy Perez. You know, so I got into the big band from there. But you know, it all started. Then I went with other groups. You know, just other conjuntos and garage bands and everything. And I guess everybody done that at this point.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think everybody starts in the garage.
Everybody, yeah.
Everybody starts in the garage. Yeah. You know, so like, you know.
But no, like I said, it is great, you know, and, you know, thank the people at Tejano Roots, you know, for giving me this achievement. You know, it was very, very big honor, you know, and it's something that nobody's gonna take that away from me.
So and you're still on cloud nine, huh?
Oh,
Yeah. Oh yeah. You'll be like that for a while. Trust me. Like I still sometimes look at it. And, oh damn! I can't believe I did all this already.
yeah. No, I passed by, I see the box, and I just opened it up, and I was like,
You too?
Yeah. I know. And so Jesse, how about you, Mr. Jesse? You know, how long you been doing this? You know?
Oh, I feel the same way. Well, I've been doing this since I can remember, probably since the age of 12, 10, 8. Yeah, it's been a long time. And to be here, especially with SCP, it's such a cool deal that, you know, because we don't really get recognized,
Yeah.
especially as drummers, right?
Yeah.
Because we're always in the
Y'all
back.
in the
always
back,
sitting
hiding
there.
there, you know. So
Yeah, nobody ever sees our feet. We're always really comfortable,
they
right?
barely see your face.
Yeah, that's kind of our guard, so we're safe. But once we count it off, it's all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I feel really great. So thank y'all for having us. Same thing, just like Sam said. I mean, it's a lifetime of playing, a lifetime of working and being recognized. And I mean, for me, being 51 and finally getting into inducted into the Tejano Roots, it's a cool feeling. It really is. And then being here from Houston and being with you guys tonight, when Lynn told me that you guys were going to have the Houston inductees here tonight, I was like, shit, yeah. Oh, heck yes. Sorry. I would love to do that. That's like right down my alley for sure. So thank you all.
No, thank you. Well, thank you for coming. We appreciate it. And, you know, we know y'all got busy schedules and, you know, that kind of stuff. So, you know, we appreciate you coming out. You know, and it's an honor to have you here with us in the studio. You know,
Thank
like
you.
you know, we treat y'all like family. You're family to us and everything. So, I mean, it's great to have
yeah.
y'all. And like I said,
I feel the same.
we do apologize. You know, we couldn't make it out there. You know, we were looking forward to being out there that day. You know, but you know, things happen. You know, we have family
Oh, yeah.
emergencies that
We get it.
came up, and you know, but we still send our redhead. That we understand. We understand she did a good job out there. She was you know, she was running up and down everywhere. You know, so you know, that's one thing.
I was doing
Yeah.
so much running around that I actually put Crocs on, and everyone was shocked. They were just like, "You wear Crocs?" I'm like, "Yeah, man." After this, it's like I'm solo.
And she said she put them on the sports mode too, so she can get going. You know?
I'm solo, so you guys gotta forgive me. And then when Sam got off stage, he didn't know where to go. And he went to the other radio station and he looked at me. I go, it's okay, we'll do it, Houston.
So, Mr. Jesse, when you got the notification that you were going to be inducted into the Tejano Roots, what was the feeling when you got that notification?
Oh, well, I mean, what can I say about that? I mean, that's something I think everybody really wishes for because, I mean, so many years, I have to tell this story. I never realized how important my work was to the industry until after I was out of Elsa Garcia's band. I was in her band for 10 years, and I joined a rock band. And these dudes were like smoking weed and doing all these like crazy stuff at a rehearsal. So I showed up very prepared. And I'm not like a big weed smoker or anything like that. But these dudes were like super stoned, and one guy says, "Hey, bro, do you realize that you spent 10 years of your life, like a whole decade on the road?" And right there I went like, shit, you're right. Yeah, I'd never thought about it like that because when you're working, you're just working, right? Yeah. And I was just so fortunate to be a part of a popular female act. I mean, Elsa Garcia, she has so many hits. She has a lot of really good hits. And I felt kind of a little bit arrogant. And please, I ask for everybody's apology, or I apologize to everybody if I was arrogant when the last thing I said, and I remember it, when I accepted my award, I said, "Hey, I recorded Ya Te Vi, so when you hear that song, that's me on drums." And I'm really sorry that's kind of arrogant, right? But that's true.
No. Hey,
They'll know who you are.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
You said that, and now when hey, you recorded Ya Te Vi, right? There you go.
They put a face to the...
So everything sort of always turns full circle, right? So when I got the call and Mike says, "Hey, dude, like, congratulations," and I love Mike Ramirez. Thank you so much. One of my favorite people in Houston as well. And so once I was up there, but going back to that story, anyway, I'm going to go all over the place. But I never realized that until Jamie said that, and that puts it all into perspective, because now with this induction, it just, it makes me be able to, I'm not going to say rest, but now I don't have to worry about anything because I've finally been recognized, and it's an honor. So now I can just play.
There you go. There you go.
I can just perform.
Who cares if we mess up on stage?
That's right. That's exactly right.
But you guys are the heartbeat of the song because you guys have the timing and everyone has to
follow.
It's true.
When they notices that we're back there, they will make a mistake.
Yeah, that's true.
Not gonna say, "Hey, you got an award and you messed up." I heard that you messed up.
Yeah,
they're gonna be right
that's
on
right.
it, But let me tell you what. Let's take a little commercial break real quick,
Okay.
and we got our other 10 minutes. We can get them up here with the rest of the guy Douglas. All right.
Perfect.
So we'll take a little commercial break. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Mueve la caderita, con ánimo, con ánimo. Una probadita de tu boquita, ay mamita, ándale mamita. Una probadita de esa sonrisita que me domina, ándale mamita. Una probadita de tus cositas, dulces cositas, ay mamita. Ay, 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 ay. Una probadita, ay, 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 ay. Ándale mamita, déjame probar. Una probadita de tu cariñito, sabrosito. Y pude llegar al fondo de tu corazoncito. Déjame probar el sabor de tu calor, el sabor de tu pasión. Que no olvida el dolor, que no olvida el dolor. Mueve esa cadera, menea tu cadera. Mueve esa cadera, menea tu cadera. Ese tu trasero poquito a poco me vuelve loco, me tiene ansioso. Como lo meneas, hipnotizas mis ojos y alborotas mi coco y alborotas mi coco. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 mamita. Ay, 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 ay. Una probadita. Ay, 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 ay. Ándale, mamita, déjame probar. Una probadita de tu cariñito, sabrosito. Y pude
It's hot. Don't stop.
You're watching SCP TV.
All right, and we're back. DJ Fluffy, along with the divas here, and of course Jesse, Mr. Sam, and we got Mr. Douglas that came in. Then we'll finally pick them up. They were lost.
They were lost. They were circling the block looking for a parking spot.
It's that construction, you know, they decided to close the road.
So how you doing, Mr. Douglas? Doing all right?
I'm doing good. On the way, I had to fire my personal assistant and the chauffeur. Well, but you know how small business is. We have to wear many hats. So,
Exactly. There you go. So you got to take over.
so I fired myself. I fired myself as a personal assistant and fired myself as a chauffeur.
That ain't bad. The first time I came out here, I Ubered out here.
Hold on.
Let me tell you a story. I Ubered out here, and this guy, so here I am trusting Uber to get me here. He dropped me off about 2 blocks down that way. And he told me, and I was there, and I was getting ready to go knock, and I said, I don't see nobody here. I don't see any cars here. And I called Mike. I said, Mike. And he goes, what? Hey, man. He goes, I don't think I'm in the right. Where are you at? He had to go find me to get me here. And I said, okay. I said, we're not taking Uber out here anymore. Anyway. You know, Mike's always giving me out of trouble. Anyway, thank you, Mike.
You know what? You know what? You're not the only one that happened to.
Really?
We had, was it Nando, Mike? DJ Nando or it was Tommy Cruz. We invited Tommy Cruz to come out here, and he goes, hey, come on to the show, man. Come over. He come over, we gave him the address and everything, and then he was actually
2 houses
down, 3 houses down.
But he had already been here before.
You know, yeah, he had been before. Yeah, and he came back, but he was 3 houses down, and he actually went back to the backyard of the people's house. He was back there, and then I guess the gate closed. He couldn't open the gate.
And then he's like, this doesn't look familiar, because he had already been here.
And it was late already. So he calls Mike and says, hey, Mike, I'm here, but I don't see nobody, you know. I said, what do you mean you're not here? We're here. No, and then, so he was whispering. So Mike said, well, make some noise, I can know where you're at. And I think he went out and looked at him, and he was like I guess whispering or something. And he goes, I'm here. And then he found 2 houses down, and the door locked behind him. He couldn't open the door. So he was behind somebody else's house and whispering there at night. So he got lucky he didn't get shot, but he was 2 hours down.
I was worried about that.
Yeah.
You know, like, who are you? What do you mean? We have no radio station here.
Back then, we used to park our trailer right outside, or we carry our equipment. So we would tell people, hey, the house with the big white trailer in the front yard. That's how you find it.
Yeah.
You know,
But no, not only that, all of the cars had SCP
SCP stickers on them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the video, but yeah, you ain't the only one that happened to. So we're talking to the gentleman here, now you tell us, you know, which one you got inducted into?
Class for vocalists?
Vocals, okay.
Yeah. Great vocalist, yes. Yeah. And you know, on the way out, see, I got to fire the personal assistant again. Because I was going to bring it, and I didn't bring it for myself. So anyway, it's too much to keep up with. So, yeah, it's a big surprise, man. I'm honestly very overwhelmed, very humbled, because all those years that you're playing, you don't realize that anybody's paying attention. You go do these dances, and you entertain the people, and you don't realize how much of an impact you're doing, or, you know, and I think the most beautiful thing is that it's the artist recognizing the artist, you know? So I think that's the biggest compliment you can receive, you know? But I'm so overwhelmed, man, and humbled, and what's funny is, like, I've been out of the Tejano market for 20 years, and then I just started recording recently, a year ago, and releasing some songs with the Texas movement. I did some, there's only 2 that we released so far. We have more that are being re-released early this year, and we're collaborating with a group out of Monterrey, La Raza Monterrey.
Oh, yeah.
And we did it, I mean, it was wonderful, man. It was just living the dream, man. And that's what it's living the dream. And then when I got the letter that they were inducting me into the 2024 class, man, I was like, you know what happened is I went through my mind, I went back to my 14-year-old self. This is when I started.
Wow.
And I was barely a freshman in high school because I'm born in the summer, so I was barely 14. And I remember my band director said, there was a Mr. Gonzalez here, and he put a little flyer. They're looking for to audition horn players, and I'm originally a horn player, and so I played trumpet. And man, my first gig was with Tony Romo and Grupo Lumbre at the Brewery Tap downtown Houston.
Wow.
I was 14 years old, and basically at that time we had a singer that he was like Little Joe, bro, like, you know, tribute Little Joe guy. And we're playing all the, you know, I'm playing all the music for basically Little Joe's music, right? But for our band. And man, I was so excited, my first gig, and I'm done. And I remember Tony calls me over and he says, hey, Doug, here. And he gave me an envelope, and I was like, what? You know, like, and I opened it and it had some money in there, and I'm like, oh my God, I get to do this and get paid at the same time. I mean, and that was the rest of my life, you know. And then, about 20 years ago, I had this epiphany, and I found God. He wasn't lost, I was lost. But, it's not like, oh, I found God and I got to leave all this behind. It literally just, everything just, you know, yeah, it's kind of like, you know, those snowball, those snow globes, and you kind of like shake it up. That was me. That was my life, was just like floating. What's going on? And then, you know, I ended up at University of St. Thomas, and I got my degree, and I'm a school teacher now, and I've been doing that. Thank you. And yeah, and I teach elementary, so it's a little hard. Yeah, and they drain you, man. They drain. But anyway, so but I love that. You know, that's another passion. You know, is teaching and. But anyway, I started recording again, man, and like it's just all of a sudden, like everybody's like, hey man, hey Doug, hey dude, you know, hey, and like I'm getting calls, and people are like, you know, man, dude, I heard what you did, dude, man, it's good, and I'm like, I mean, it's like breathing, bro.
Yeah.
Like after a while, you're, you know, we're, you know, I was listening to Jesse. I mean, you can't, people look at us and they think that it takes a lot of effort, but we're just made this way, and if everything lines up right, you get to do something. You get to not do something, but be a part of something great. And you know, at all and different points of our careers, like I love it in Spanish, they say la trayectoria de uno, ¿verdad? La trayectoria de uno, like in different times, points in time, you get to be part of something great. And I'm humbled that I got invited here. This is all part of it. To me, I'm living the dream, man. I'm here, and I get to, yeah, man. I love the you know, music is just, it's what, in my home, that's what we breathe. We don't even, you know, it's just who we are, you know. Yeah. So
I heard you for the very first time at the Tejano Legends. You know, that last you were there, and I heard you there, and I ain't gonna tell you, you got a new fan. I never heard you before, and I hate to compare you with different artists, but when I first heard you, I was actually in the back getting some drinks, and I heard you sing the first song, and the first thing came to mind was JP Swinging. And I was like, hold on, what's going on here? And I looked over it, and your voice is just there, and I was like, wow. I just want to sit down. I sit down the whole show and watch you know, perform it. And you tell you what, you got an amazing voice.
Thank you.
You got a very amazing. Like being the first time that I heard you, and then, you know, of course, I heard you when you got your thing. You saying that you just started with, you know, Grupo Lumbre, and of course, Grupo Lumbre, they're good friends of ours, and, you know, like, wow, I said, you've been playing for a long time with Tony then.
Yeah, Tony took me under his wing when I was 14 years old, man, and I never stopped. These last 20 years, you know, I've been leading music ministry at my church, but the music never ends, you know. And it's funny you say JP because Joe Ernest, that's how I know. Everybody calls him JP. But Joe Ernest, when we were playing with Joe Ernest, it was Joe Ernest, and he had just gotten out of Latin Image and was putting a group together. He put a group together called Cielo, and my older brother Ruben played bass for him. And then eventually, you know, we kind of made our way over there. I was in Lumbre, and from Lumbre I kind of went over there to them with my brother and with Nacho on keys, with my partner David on guitar. We ended up over there with Joe Ernest, and it's funny because all I ever wanted to do since I was a kid was do what Joe Lopez does and from Moss, and then I was listening to Joe Ernest, who to me was amazing. He was the people who got to play with him live and really were part of his process of music. Era genial, you know, like he had a beautiful voice, the way he did it, his musicality was great. And I'm not gonna lie, man. Like I want to be with him, and I still want to be him when I try to sing. And that's probably why you heard, and so we were doing, a lot of songs that at that time when I was playing with him, I was playing sax, and we did a lot of gigging together, but I just remember just the way he would, just sing all those old beautiful songs and sabor a mí. I mean, he just sing. I mean, just crazy, man. Just like the presence that he had.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people, man. They sing his praises everywhere you go. But there was no mistake, man. That's why you heard that. I did a lot of work with. A lot of people don't know. I did a lot of work with Bob Gallarza for Scratch. And I'm not just dropping his name because I worked a lot of years. Nobody ever knew because I wasn't even in the market. He had seen me before I got out, stopped playing at one of our shows, and he heard that I was a big Jimmy Edward because my influences go back to Jimmy Edward, to Adalberto when they were kids singing for the Breed, for Latin Breed, and El Vicio, El Vicio, El Vicio de Querer. All those old songs that they did from Angeles Negros there, from Mexico, actually. Those are the influences that I had all this time, And I ended up working with him doing scratch stuff, because during he was a producer, and so he would have me sing, when he was conceptualizing the song. So I would sing the scratch track that the artist, whoever he was recording for, was going to hear, so that they can sing their track, right? And so you never really hear me. Yeah. You hear the finished product of the artist, but I did that for a lot of years, man, and I learned so much sitting at the master's feet, basically, And so that helped me a lot. And I'm not going to lie to you, bro. Like my voice, when I was fronting Fiel, we were Fiel for almost 15 years, and we were on the road everywhere, opening up for Miles, for everybody. And in the Midwest, we were doing. We traveled with a group called Invicto. I don't know if you know Jose Alcida. Conjunto de Max, his dad. So we traveled with him. We did the whole tour thing with them, and all that time, I think I sang well, but man, once I met the Lord, bro, my voice just like, I mean, it's like, now it's like I can well now, and I have no fear, honestly, because I think when I was younger and I was in the market, you try to put your best foot forward. Right now, I don't care. I just sing because I love it. But it seems like when you sing with reckless abandon, that's always the best thing. And everybody tells you, wow, I really felt that, and that's what a lot of people are telling me right now. We did the Legends show a couple of times, and we did a thing at the Social, and with the Raza came down, and they were our band, man, and I sang with them. And the same thing, man, the response like, man, dude, I don't know where you came from, and people probably don't remember you from a long time ago, but I think I just came into my own as a vocalist, man, and I feel so honored and overwhelmed, man, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, I hate to do it, but can you've been little nips here and there, can you just sing the song? Something, a little bit of something so we can hear you,
I already have chills just listening to you talk. It's just like, wow.
So we did a song, my friend David Hernandez, we were in Fiel together for so long. We played with JP together also. We ended up never losing contact. And he wrote a song for me because, my style of singing is more like, I guess, power kind of singing. And so he wrote a song. It's called No Es Fácil, so you can look it up. It's on YouTube and all the platforms. We actually recorded it with Jose Longoria and ¿cómo se llaman? The Mariachi Imperial de America. And they actually won the rodeo championship. That same year that we recorded the song is called No Es Fácil. And so the song says, ahogado en tristeza, agonía y dolor. Mis pensamientos vuelan sin dirección ninguna. Quisiera olvidarme de ti. Quisiera poder morir para no pensar en ti. Is that enough? Beautiful. Yeah, so look it up. Yeah, look at that song. But the one I'm really proud of, to be honest with you, we would try to, and I guess everybody can relate, but when you get in the studio, you really want to I want to be original. I want to be I want to do my own thing, and I want it to be different than everybody else. And you're shooting for the stars, right? And we took a trip in July to Monterrey. My first time going to Monterrey. Oh my God, the food is awesome. Yeah, it is. So anyway, let me get that out of the way. Food was awesome. We hooked up with La Raza Monterrey and Luis Baker Fernandez and all them guys over there. Man, and the other thing about Monterrey, all the musicians are top notch. Everybody plays good over there. But anyway, we hooked up with them on a Thursday. We had a rehearsal. We had a concept for a song. David had written some lyrics. We kind of, Nacho, who played with us with JP, he's a keyboard player now. He's been a keyboard player for a long time. He was JP's keyboard player for a long time. Anyway, he gave us this melody, and he gave us, and David wrote some lyrics. That's all we had. We went over there. We rehearsed with these guys for 2 hours on Thursday night. Went and got a little bit of sleep, because you don't really sleep in Monterrey. and then the next day, about 5 p.m., we had a long day. 5 p.m., we go into the studio. By 10:30, about 10:30 p.m., we're walking out. We did a song. What was funny is, coming from the background with working with Bob a lot, there's a producer. No, everybody just it's literally a collaboration. And how you gonna do it? And the guys are all working out. Everybody goes in, they run their track. They run their track, and this song called Tejano, Te Adoro came out. And we were back Saturday. I'm sorry, so that was Friday. We're in the studio. Saturday, we go shoot a video in the morning at 11 a.m. And it took us, an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then we were out of there. And then they had a gig that night. They had 2 gigs that night. After the second gig, Luis Baker Fernandez, who's the leader of La Raza, he actually literally gets off stage, and we all go to the car, and he's driving us to the airport, because our plane left at 5 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was right after the gig, and we're waiting at the airport trying to get, and we get home, and then a couple of weeks later, bro, this song comes out, and the video, and he was like, oh my God, was I even there? I can't recall, but it was wonderful, man. It was beautiful, and y'all check it out. It's Te Amo, Te Adoro. It's the Texas movement featuring La Raza Monterrey, and it was a true collaboration, man. And it did really well on. I don't really know where, because I'm not the dude, bro, but it's been #1 in different places, and it was even playing in Mexico.
I love the fact that you said who your influences are. I'm
Sure.
curious who.
I'm
curious. It's like, okay, Sam and Jesse, who influenced you?
Oh man, a lot of people. Some non-drummers, drummers obviously, I'm a rocker, so John Bonham, Neil Peart, of course, but Ricky Reyes from Little Joe, one of the older drummers, que paz descanse. Michael Aguilar, Yeah, Richard Barron, Ricky Reyes, a lot of good drummers out there. But like I said, Joe Uña Rodriguez, he's Elsa's bass player. I always say about Joe, he taught me more how to play drums than any drummer ever did, and he was a bass player. So I think that's when you're a musician, you have an open mind and you just listen to everybody that you're jamming with and you're playing with. That just creates a real good nucleus. So those are some of my guys.
Great.
Now, how many kids do you have?
I have one kit now.
One kid?
Only one. But I've gone through quite a few. But the thing about it is that I have a lot of parts that have come through my hands. Like I'll tell a story. When I was with Elsa's band, Victor, Elsa's son, was her drummer when I took over for him. So it was interesting because my favorite band of all time, and I always say the best band in the world, is La Mafia. I mean,
Yes.
that's just the way I feel. So
Favorite band.
Adam Mosquera got out of La Mafia and he joined Elsa's band. A lot of people don't know that Adam Mosquera played with Elsa Garcia. So I took over for Adam Mosquera, which is like an honor for me, right? And the funny thing is that my favorite Elsa Garcia album is Simplemente, and I didn't even play drums on that album.
Wow.
But I love every song on that album because when I was growing up, I was listening. You know what I mean? I wanted to be like all the badasses. I wanted to play. I wanted to be disciplined. And but anyway, I have a snare drum that Adam Mosquera gave to Victor, who is Elsa Garcia's son. He sold that snare drum to me.
Oh, nice.
That snare drum was in like unrepairable condition. I gave it to Michael Aguilar, who was the drummer for La Mafia. He recorded all the great hits, although Adam Mosquera recorded a lot of the great hits too. But anyway, he refurbished it, and then Lynn bought it back from him for my birthday. I was like, hey dude, I need that snare back. You know, I don't want to be an Indian giver. He's like, hey man, I refurbished it. I was like, what do you mean? Like I gave it to you because I thought you were going to throw it away. But he like refurbished it. And that snare drum is on some of La Mafia's old recordings. I'm talking about electrifying. Some of the old, so I own that snare drum. So it's pretty cool being a drummer and being here and being influenced by all the guys. So thank you for asking me that question.
So snare drums, how many snare drums do you have? 'Cause I know.
Oh yeah, snare drums is the thing. That's a different question.
That boy got to like, I don't know, 15, 20 snare drums, you know.
I have 5 or 6 only, but they're very special because I'm 52. So. Yeah, you get to the age. When you're 30, yeah, you want 20 snares, right?
He brought back memories, you know, because I remember being 15 with Rick Gonzalez and La Preferencia. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah,
Rick
I
Gonzalez
remember.
and Toys, Gano Street. It's like Wednesdays and Thursdays. It's like everyone was rehearsing.
Yes.
So you had La Mafia rehearsing, you had Rick. You could hear the music,
Yeah.
and we would bounce from house to house. It's like, you know, everyone lived in that area, and they were all
For sure.
rehearsing. It was awesome.
Yeah.
To
That was
be
a
around
good time.
that music.
That was a good time. I mean, I come from Rosenberg, and I come from like Torres Ballroom. I come from La Tropicana, some places where it was just music. That's what it was. I mean, you had tropical music coming in. You had norteño. You had Tejano. You had everything, man. And when you're young, you're just listening. And if you have the right attitude, you know, there's a lot of guys around town that are famous, and there's a lot of artists that are really famous, and you can't go up to them and talk to them and stuff like that. And I don't like those people. I want to be around the people that you can talk to and you can ask advice about or of and stuff like that.
Yes,
So
that's why I love the Honolulu's Hall of Fame. That is like my favorite time of year because you have so much history. It should be, you know, music 101.
You're right.
Because you learn so much about the artists that are being inducted, and everyone's in awe. I mean, you're like a super fan.
That's
right?
true.
You're just like so eager to take a picture with this person and that person. You're in this room with all these amazing people, and it's history in the making in that night, and it's just like, My favorite.
On Saturday during the day, they should have like a forum of all the artists coming up there and talking about a certain type of,
Yeah,
you know,
for
that
sure.
would be cool.
Mike?
I have to tell a story real quick about that night. I finally met Noel Hernandez, who was inducted.
Okay.
And he's the bass player on
Right.
Elida's debut album, the best Elida album. And I'm a bass player fan, even though I only play drums. By the way, do y'all know what you call a guy that hangs around musicians?
No.
You call him a drummer. Yeah. So, I'm a bass player fan.
He
I've
was
never-
so,
I
he was
love-
so
I've
excited.
never heard a drummer tell that one. I've heard it before, but I've never heard a drummer tell it.
I love bass players, man.
That's awesome.
So when I saw who else was being inducted, obviously I was so honored. But when I saw Noel Hernandez, I was like, okay, is that the Noel? Is that guy? And it sure as hell was. So when I got off stage, he happened to be standing in the back. And when I walked down, I was like, oh shit, dude.
My
Like I've never met this guy. He don't know who I am, but I have to go up to him. And I said, dude, I respect you a lot. And you know what? I said, I'm Elsa's drummer. I recorded this and that. Y que la chingada. And then he says, hey, do you have Uña's number? He didn't care about me. He didn't give a shit who I was. He was like, oh yeah, do you have Joe's number? And then he told me a story. He said that Elsa opened up for Elida. It was like in '89. He says, I don't know if you were there. And I wasn't there because I got in Elsa's band in 1991. And he told the story of Uña going up there using Noel Hernandez's amp and tweaking everything. And he goes, man, when I got up there and I plugged up my bass and I played it, I looked at my amp and I went like, holy crap, is this my amp? So that's why when you hear that sound of Elida, that's Uña. It really is his sound, that jazz sound, that they don't play boom, boom. They play boom, 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 boom. They just play, there's just beauty about their playing. So just thought I'd share that story.
He was so excited. I had to watch his awards. He could go take his picture. And
Oh, yeah.
And pobrecito, no, because I had my stroke 5 years ago at his house. We were all supposed to go
man.
fishing. But it was so cool to see Max Vaca, to see
Yes.
Eddie.
Oh,
and
they're
just the
so
camaraderie.
good.
The boys were all there,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yeah.
it was like, I had been after Noe for years. Send your submission. No, it's okay. I don't want to. So when Josh got inducted and then Noe got inducted, like, it's about time. So you know when he got off the stage, it was like, hey, Noe, don't forget you owe me an interview.
Yeah, that's good. So that's why he was standing there, waiting
Well,
for the interview with
no,
you?
they were all there because
Oh,
you know,
okay.
I mean, it's just a brotherhood because in the valley they're all brothers.
Oh, yeah.
They
Yeah,
all
for
know
sure.
each other and they've been hanging out for thousands of years. But they were just there, just watching everything and then just embracing everything.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't all. I don't think it had sunk in yet.
Cool.
So they were all just, you know, just hanging by our posters, you know, and drinking our drinks.
Well, the stars aligned for me because I'm walking down the stage and I look to the right and I'm like, there he is. And I was like, dude, I am not losing this opportunity to talk to this guy.
We want to send a shout out to Demi Garcia. She says, go Jesse, best bonus dad ever.
Oh, that's my girl. Yeah, I love you.
Tuning in from Detroit, Michigan. You know, Alameda Cruz. Thank you for tuning in. You know, but now that you brought that up, saying what you got.
No, I was going to ask him, but go ahead and finish
Yeah.
with him, then we'll continue the
So you
same.
said about meeting the people that you haven't seen in a while, and like you said, people don't get to know you. But you know, having Tejano roots do what they do, you actually get, now they put a face to, okay, this is the drummer from back then, and then you're getting recognized now. And like you said, y'all in the back all the time, y'all covering with all the symbols, and y'all sitting down,
Yeah.
doing your thing. But that's good what they're doing. They're recognizing all these people, and you get to meet your artists. When I went up there, when I was doing my house, I was like, hey, damn, I didn't think this one, I didn't get one this one.
Yes.
You start taking pictures everywhere. You start seeing all these people, and that's a good thing about it. Going to that event, and we enjoy going to the event every year.
For sure.
So it is a good time, and being able to get recognized. Like especially like paid for so many years, and finally get the recognition that you deserve. For playing it.
Exactly. And I think for me, I mean, it wasn't so much about me. I mean, my name is on there, and hopefully people see it, and they're like, "Oh, Jesse," because who the hell knows me? But I was like, well, who else is on there? I want to like Juan Aguilar. I went up to Mike and I said, "Hey, because I got up 3 times, and Lynn was like, "Oh, babe, I don't know if he's here," because I wanted to go up to Juan Aguilar, the drummer for Los Aguilares. I mean, he recorded Anhelos, all those great Aguilares songs. I mean, man, there's no denying that that's a special person right there. That's a special guy. I mean, when I hear that song, that's one of my go-to songs. I mean, Anhelos. It really is. I mean, it's like, if I'm like, I don't know, what do you want to listen to? Put Anhelos, Los Aguilares. I mean, and that guy, I mean, for me to get inducted with him, and I was like looking for him because I didn't want no help. I just wanted to go, And then when I talked to Mike and he says, "Oh no, he's not coming," I was like, "Ah, shit, okay, cool." But still, I mean, you still have to realize that it's not only about your instrument; it's about the Tejano roots and the fact that you're being inducted into the organization, to the whole thing. It's the Hall of Fame. It's so cool, man.
No.
I can't believe that I'm a part of that.
Oh yeah,
it's beautiful.
Now, I know every musician is picky about their instrument. When you set up your kit up, when you're gonna go back, do you allow any of them to touch it or play with it? I know there's some bands that you go to a concert, you got 2 sets of drums out because they don't want you to touch it. Are you the same way, or are you don't mind sharing if it comes down to where something happens to that kit, will you let somebody else use your set?
Oh, I don't mind sharing at all. But the thing about it is that, Elsa came back after 25 years, and we were we've only done 3 shows, and we've used our own backline, and we're running like a sequence, and we're running like a video screen and everything. It's like a big show. So nobody can touch my stuff. Sorry. Because, I mean, you can use some of my stuff, like maybe the kick and stuff, but it's a little bit different. But back in the day, I didn't really care. But I got to tell you, it's funny because we were talking about that today. We did a show in maybe 1994, 95 at the Miller Outdoor Theater, and Roberto Pulido played right before Elsa, and I had a kit where the toms were on a stand, and they were obviously 12, 13, 16. And so Roberto Pulido's drummer is a left-hander, right? So what did he do? He grabbed the toms here, and he went like that. Right? So he should have just moved the toms and went like, okay, 12, 13. Yeah. But they're going to be like that, right? So what he did, he just moved them to where they were like for him. And then, so by the time like Dino put my stuff, I was like, what the hell? Like everything was totally messed up. So but I was I was okay because Jesse Reina is like a legend too. I don't know, do you know if he's in the Hall of Fame? Anyway, that's a whole different story. But, man, I was really upset with him because I had to that's the thing. Like, I played at the Chapter 9, and I realized that I sit on the drum kit, I don't move nothing. Because I'm just like, the hell with it. Let's just play it. Because everybody's like, oh, I got to put this here, and I got to put my seat up, and I got to do like this. It's only a couple of songs. Yeah. Let's just have a good time. There you go. So.
Cindy says, "Gonna piggyback off of Demi, best brother ever." So,
cool. I love you, Cindy.
Now, Sam, same thing with you. Do you allow anybody play with your kid when you set up, or?
Yeah. I mean, I will always share my kid. I never had a problem with it. Basically, I would say, well, you can use your snare. Bring the snare. Yeah. Snare, I guess, is more of our drummer's holy grail.
Yeah, there you go.
You see somebody really abusing you, like...
Yeah.
and like you said, I mean, when you go... I had this happen to us at the Legends when I had my equipment set up, and this guy came in. He was a left-hander. So then when I came back to play, I was just like... Wait a minute. It's not to say that you want to be mean about it. It's just to where... You set up your stuff to where you're comfortable. It's just like you drive your car.
That's what I was going to say. When you drive a car,
you got your seat adjusted and everything. Yeah. But as far as that, I've always been, I always have most of my equipment. Me and Mike with the Tejano Legends, we use either his kit or my kit, so, but
Is that your white kit?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that drum kit. That's so awesome. See, that's why I don't have to move nothing from his kit, because it's all right there.
I mean, I don't mind if they want to adjust the cymbals and stuff, but when you take, I can understand the left-hander. It's a totally different
Sure.
thing. Yeah, and when you look at them and they're playing, it's like, how do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I started out actually playing saxophone, and but my dad, was telling me, okay, my dad was a trumpet player, and my dad, he was my biggest influence in the music, and then finally I told my dad, Dad, I said, I don't think I'm gonna play saxophone anymore. And he goes, why not? And I told him, I don't know. I said, I want to play drums. And he looks at me and just says, son, you don't want to do that, man. He says, man, look at all the stuff you're gonna have to carry and everything, And I said, no, but I can handle it, And now every time I take my drums, when I take them down,
You're
right. That was right. I hear my dad. I hear
Yeah.
my dad every time,
But it was all worth it.
Yeah, and also too is when I started getting into the drums, and Robert Aguilar was my biggest really influence that I really because Robert was playing when my grandfather was playing drums when Robert started out. And of course I knew his mom and dad pretty well too. And but Joe Rodriguez that played with my grandfather, he was a singer and a drummer, and Pepe Ramos that played with Eloy Perez. When I was little, I used to see him and I said, that's what I said, this is what I want to do. This is where I said, I don't want to play the horn, And went on about it, and then just, like I say, it's something that you enjoy, and you just take it on from there on, and you just start jumping around with different groups and stuff like that, and play like that. So I spent quite a bit of time with Mangum and Yola and Diego. I played with them for a long time, and then Gonzalo Perez. Those are the two that I hung around with the most, that I stayed more years with them. And say hello to my compadre Gonzalo. Me and him have been good friends, and for a long time, and we hung around and stuff like that. But like I said, music is something that you can't take away. It's not going to take it away. You try to say, maybe I don't want to do it. And after a while, you're like, okay, anything going on,
Yeah.
I don't think people say that they retire from the industry or they retire, or doing this, but I don't think you're retired. You're eventually gonna come back and do something because it's always gonna be in your system.
It's in your blood.
You're gonna eventually miss it, and the reason I bring that is when Carlos from Negami did the 30-year reunion with the Latin Image. The guys that were in his band,
Joey and Ray,
and all those guys, Moses and all
Joe's
that,
watching.
they said they had not touched an instrument in 30 years.
Yeah.
And when they got that call, saying, hey, let's do the reunion, let's do this, let's do it at the Rockefeller, that's when we first started, and it lines up. And they actually said, we had not touched our instruments in 30 years.
Yeah.
They were in the closet, put up. And now they said they
can't put them down.
They can't put them down.
Yeah.
They said when we started practicing with the trumpets, man, our lips were hurting and everything, but they got back in like nothing. Like they were back on beat, and they got that bug again, and now they're out there performing again. They start performing again.
But the music just stays in your blood. I mean, you live, breathe, and even if you take some time back, because I think all of us have taken time back, but it's like the moment, that opportunity that comes up, and it's your time, you just take it without hesitation.
You're right.
Jump back in like nothing.
When my kids were, they didn't see me play very much when they were little. They would see the kid come in and, the drums go in and out and stuff like that. Finally, they went out to go see me play, and they're like, wow, Dad, how long have you been doing this? And and my daughter got in, and she did the reverse. She got into drums, and then she went into sax.
Cool.
So but finally she gave it up. She didn't hang around that much on it. But with my mom also too, my mom was always, my mom was a singer. My mom would always tell me, hey, you need to spend some time on your drums, and I would get out there and just do it. And sometimes I'd say, okay, now it's time for you to get off.
Yeah, it's just because now my daughter, she's in middle school, and now she got a band. I play saxophone, drums, and bass guitar. And
You're a drummer?
yeah, I
Cool.
I haven't touched them since I graduated high school back in '94. I haven't touched them since, so give me one right now. I don't think I'll be able to play right now until I practice something. But now my daughter, she's in band, and she was, Dad, what instrument should I play? First thing I told her, drums. Go for drums. And she was like, okay, drums. And then she come back, Dad, I think I'm gonna play the flute. Man, go drums. But I think she's the only one that's gonna follow what like what I like is the music and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
She likes singing now too, so she's in there. So I'm gonna send them down to Lynn later on. I'm gonna start young.
Yeah, I think we met her the other day.
Yeah.
At Viegas Toys for Tots
Yeah,
thing.
she's been doing that, so I think she's the one who's gonna go in the music one. But I'm still hoping she picks up the drums beat. Like she says, hey, don't worry about it. I'll play the set and everything. We'll make noise in the house. So, but yeah, I mean, it's good that the kids are coming along too, and they're doing that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
I agree.
But nothing I see here. I think somebody should write a book when we have all this stuff here, because just hearing to Jesse, Sam, Doug, the history of all this.
Everybody that comes.
People don't get to hear this.
That's
stuff.
why we're having a Houston
Well,
edition.
yeah, we're having a edition, but still, I mean, imagine how many other people that they have gone through the stuff, and if you sit down and really listen to them, like you said, when you have to sit around all the guys and just tell stories. Imagine if somebody would record all this stuff and eventually
We are
put it out there.
recording.
Well, I mean, other than about making
But
a
you
book
have
out of
that
it,
but you have that
So much
historian.
history.
No,
So
but
much
you have
history
that
out there.
historian Ramon Hernandez.
Yeah.
He's a historian
Yeah.
that documents a lot of stuff, and normally he is at the Honolulu. He's been there a few years. So he does a couple of
I mean,
documentations.
Hearing Jesse, hearing Sam, you would never think the band that they played with before. You think, oh, just one band, but you start hearing the stories, and I play with this band, and play with this band, and this band, and this band. And it's
But
a
you
lot,
forget the museum. That's where
That's-
everything is. So you can donate anything
An item
to
to
put
go there.
in the museum,
Wow.
so it could be there for
Yeah.
generations to come. People do go to that museum, and everything is right there.
Yeah.
That's
Am I
great.
right or wrong?
Did you
I
go
like
to the
that.
museum this time? Have you been to the museum in Alice?
Well, there were.
No, I've never been.
Never? Oh,
No,
okay.
we went. I mean, I'm gonna go next year
Yeah.
because even if I don't know anyone, the funny thing is that last year, Margarito, Elsa's accordion player, got inducted.
Right.
So Lynn and I went to support him, and wouldn't you know, just like by some kind of magic, I get inducted, and it's like, shit, that's great. How cool. So we already kind of knew the whole spiel of
How it
everything.
went,
You know, we're
yeah.
going to stay here, we're going to go here. Yeah, it's like, I just have to get up on the damn stage and say my speech. That's the only difference, because I love being around people. It's just so fun, right? But anyway, this year going was, we're going to go next year, even if we don't know anybody who's inducted. Because I think it's a very important part of our history.
It is.
Yeah. It really is. I mean, just to support the
And that's
whole.
actually where you get to see
The whole
your
industry.
industry and
Absolutely.
be able to sit down and talk to them and just chit chat and eat food. and
Absolutely.
drink and, it's a good time.
And I know I'm going to know one person
Yeah, I was gonna
that's
say, you're
going to be
gonna know
inducted.
somebody, at
Even
least
if
one.
I've never met him, I'm
But you're
still
gonna
going to be
know
there
the
to
names.
support
Yeah.
our industry and our history.
It was funny when I went, I think, was me and Jaime together? No, Jaime was the Tony, right? If I'm thinking my cousin. My cousin, he's also a musician. He's an urban movement Cerrucho. He played with Rembella. He started with Rembella when he was 14 years old, and now he plays with Rembella Jr.
I know him.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
when he got there,
Cerrucho, that's funny.
So when we got there, when he got there, of course, I went to his event, and he was there, and people were seeing us together, like, we're talking, hey, you know that guy? Oh, yeah, that's my primo. Oh, you know that guy? Yeah, that's my primo. Then you know that we're related, because they never get together,
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, they come, you can see everybody, they come back there.
For sure.
Meet them and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
it is a great event. We look forward to the
It's a
event.
great
we
event.
enjoy it.
It really is.
It is. It's a great event. We look forward to that. We always look forward to fanfare. To do the internet gala part. Where you also meet
A lot of
going
artists.
there. If y'all haven't done that, I suggest y'all go. They do the internet gala. The internet gala is on a Thursday night. That's put on by Vic Gonzalez, and all the artists go out there, and it's pretty much all the internet radio stations from all over the place are there, and that's where you come on, bring your music, you interview with every radio station. But that's a whole. That's one day before the fanfare, and that's a good event also to attend. Vic's doing a great job with that because you also get to meet all the artists.
Yeah.
Because once you hit fanfare, everybody's walking everywhere, jumping on stage, stage here, stage that. But at that internet gala, allow them know, and they go and they sit down and talk to you, and promote your music and talk about this stuff,
Yeah.
So but yeah, it's a great event, to go to. We look forward to it every year.
That's
We
great,
enjoy,
man.
We enjoy it. Girls like it because they get to drink all the liquor, that's what, these guys are liquor there.
No, I'm the one who's always running around because I have events and I'm having to meet you guys. Because a lot of the artists that I work with, I have to go, take care of the stage or take care of something, and I'm all over the place. We got a music video to shoot, or we're doing a photo shoot, or, they're playing at this event or that event, and
There I am.
Mr. Pete Miller says Sam wants a lot of lights on his drums.
Yeah, every time we set it up, Mike's just going to get one of them lights with a string. Click, click, click.
You want to shine it there?
Get a
And, you know what?
light.
And I think that is a different thing because I'm gonna tell you one thing. You know, we do cook-offs and we set up our lights and our sound and everything. And one time we were doing the cook-off, I think in Pasadena, and we had Grupo Alianza performing. And of course, the drummer from them also, he played with La Mafia also. And then
Okay, what's his name?
what's his name? Do you remember his name, Mike? Let's say
His brother?
is it Jose? No,
No, Jose's the singer. His brother, right? His brother?
His name is Robles. But he was also a drummer for the Mafia. And one thing we're playing, man, we set our lights up, and Mike set some lights up, and then, you know, Mike knows all the lights. And Mike likes to go with the, you know, the music and the beat, and that can make the light go with the beat and everything. Well, the guy got into it, man. He saw the lights were hitting his drum, man, and they were playing, and Mike started going with the lights, and he was going with the lights, and next time you know, man, we see him, he's over there, man, I love that, man, that light just makes me something, I don't know, man, shine the light. He was all excited for the light, you know.
That's great.
You know?
That's what I tell Mike and I tell Pete, man, you guys, this is all all the ones behind me and the ones on the stage coming up, and I said, I still think we need more than that.
So can I interrupt real
Go ahead.
quick? So how much time do we have?
Okay,
Okay, cool. So I want to ask Doug. The first time I heard you sing, I was playing at it was a private event, and the family had hired Ram Herrera, but I believe the lady had passed away before Ram Herrera could perform.
Yeah.
So they hired Carlos Maldonado, and they hired the Texas Movement.
Yeah.
And we played first, and I had never heard you sing before. And I remember buying a beer, and do you remember the song that you guys started out with? I think you said it was
Yes.
a Joe Posada song?
Yes.
Yes, can you sing just the very, because it starts out with just the voice, right? Because I was buying a beer, and I went like, what the hell? Like, who is this dude?
Yeah.
A lot of people did that. They were like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Voice is like, what?
I was in hiding, and then I came out.
So could you do a little bit of that song for us?
Okay, let me add some history to it.
All right.
Joe Ernest, when we were playing with him, we were still kids. I was 17 years old when I was playing with Joe Ernest. David, my partner too, we're the same age. Well, he's a little older. But we're kids. We're playing with Joe Ernest. We're not very good. I mean, be honest. We're not very good. And John Hernandez, Ralph Hernandez, sometimes I think it was Pinky, the bass player, for Josefa, would show up to our rehearsals. And they would get our instruments from us, and we're like David, you say, I didn't know my guitar could sound like that. So we got schooled, man, by these guys.
That's
And that's why we have that sound of Joe, because Joe has that sound, because those were his mentors as well. You know what I mean? So anyway, they got this really obscure song. I'm gonna say obscure, but I might be wrong. But I was asking everybody, what song is this that Joe had already passed away, so I didn't know where he got the song, but I kept hearing him play it. And Julian Gonzalez, who's from La Fiebre, the accordion, would play with him a lot, and they would do the two voices, segunda, on that song. And finally, man, Olivo, is it Eddie Olivo?
Eddie? Yeah.
He's the one. Oh, because they know every song in the whole world. So you know, he said, oh man, that's a Joe Posada, and it's on this album, and I'm like, no way. And he sent it to David. And I said, dude, we need to record that song. So I'm asking David, please, right now, please, let's record it. But that song, I love that song.
Yeah.
Even though, I love that song. But it starts off slow.
But hold on. I think it's very fitting for the situation, no? That the lady had just passed away and all that.
I don't know. Let me think. I guess.
Yeah, so sing it.
I don't know, but we opened with that one because we tried it at rehearsal. We're like, hey, let's just try it. Yeah, I know it. I didn't really know the words. And I said, but I love it, so I wanted to try it. I wanted to act like I was Joe and Julian singing with me, because Julian actually was going to play with us. Anyway, it goes like this. It says, me besó, me adoró, y después me dejó patinando. Qué dolor traigo and I was holding the note. I was showing off.
Yeah, you were showing off.
En el pecho, por aquella que estoy adorando.
Yeah, man. I remember that. That was good. Yeah.
Yeah, that song.
Thank you for that. That was cool.
Yeah. Man, I'm so glad you see, because I love that. I mean, when I heard Joe did it like at El Dorado Ranch, like 15 years ago or whatever. But I was like, nobody, like, he used to do stuff like that, bro. Like, he would do songs that like nobody would conceptualize doing, or if someone else, he would do it another way that would just like blow your mind. And I mean, he's gone now. God rest his soul, but man, like, I would love just to record that song because he did that, and it came out great that day. I was so happy, bro. When I was singing, I was like, man, I feel like I was like, I'm a mamalón right now. I was like, man.
You brought up Carlos. Carlos Maldonado actually the one that really got me to drums.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Great musician.
me and Carlos went to school together.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
And of course, I was in band in middle school. Carlos was the drummer for school. And I'll never forget, when we first went into the music room, you see a nice drum set up in the room. Like, what is this? And it's Carlos Maldonado sus Aguilares. Yeah. That's when I met Carlos. And of course, we became friends. And of course, everyone back then, you want to be a drummer because all the girls were after the drummers. Hey, I want to be a drummer too. So, but Carlos is actually the one that got me to drums.
That's cool, man.
Went from him and from there. But yeah, Carlos is another great musician.
I want to interject something because you guys are drummers. There's a lot of drummers here. I have a really good line for drummers. Okay. I've used it countless times, and every time that I use it, it feels so good. But here's how it goes. Let me set up the scenario. The gig's over and the real work begins. We have to break down, right? The drummers are, and when I hear the groaning and the complaining, I always walk by and say, you should have been a flute player. Should have played the flute. Because you just pack it up.
Hey, can I give you that too? Because when I used to play saxophone, time to go, they put it in the case and, hey, I'm still there, guys.
See ya, what do I do?
That's why we complain, because the horn players, they just put their horn. They get paid and we're like,
no, hombre, y los cantantes. Wait,
what?
Really?
Hey, when we do our DJ gig, man, with the sound where everybody's going home and we're still turning down wires and cords and putting, like, damn, man, why would you do this?
Well, the first one's there and the last one.
Yeah, and also, I wanted to say, because I walked in, the first person I saw was Lynn, and she goes, I don't know if you remember. Of course I remember you. And I met you a long time ago porque Demi was still a kid. She was a teenager. I don't know how she was. Qué linda la niña. Y tocaba el violín. Does she still play?
Yes.
Okay, praise the Lord Jesus. Pero the church where I serve at, there's this wonderful couple, Sean and Melba, and they were getting married. And they said, Doug, you have to be the ones to sing at our wedding. But we're also going to have my goddaughter or something, right?
Yeah.
And their goddaughter was Demi.
Oh.
And her dad, by the way, is gonna. And you know what? From afar, you always are admiring. I love his stories because that's exactly how I feel, bro. Like I have my heroes, and you don't know them, and you never talk to them, but you admire them from afar. And I've always admired Michael Garcia, her dad.
Yeah.
And I never met him. And Mel was like, hey, so we're gonna go to Lynn's house and to Demi's house. We're gonna go and do a rehearsal. Do you remember that? Oh my God! And I went to their house I think I took my piano. I don't know what I did. Anyway, I can't remember. I hope I didn't embarrass myself. I'm sorry. I don't remember a lot of things. But anyway, I remember we did the wedding, and it was wonderful, man. And we did, I don't know, we did Ave Maria, and and I was doing my church thing, you know, and then Michael and Demi were playing, and we were like doing like a little combo thing, man. It was beautiful and wonderful, and I always carry that. I always have that memory in me. And I've seen Demi's. I mean, she's hellacious, man.
Yes.
And I wish I could sing like her, but I see her sing, and I always remember that. You know.
That's cool.
And yeah, so I always carry that. And then of course I got to know Michael and all this and that, and I remember his wife was going through some health issues. And I had reached out to him and I said, hey, bro, you know, we're praying for you, bro. I got my prayer warriors over here and we're praying. My baby girl, you know, she's a special needs person, my baby girl. And I call her my baby girl. She's 28, Daniela. And she prays for everybody. That's her thing. And I remember I said, we're going to pray for Michael and we're going to pray for his wife. We're going to pray and every, you know. And I remember, and now every time I see Michael, he's like, man, dude, you know, like, you know, you mean so much to me. And I'm like, dude, you know, everything, you know, we're all connected.
We're all connected. Yes.
We put our foot in the water and we get out, but we're all together. We're all the same. And you know what? We're all in each other's lives because, like I said, in one point or another, we all come.
That's it.
Yep.
You know,
I agree.
It's beautiful, man. Yeah. And I love hearing because I feel the same way. I see people, and when I got to, you know, I went to Our Lady of Guadalupe. They always have a great bazaar right there in the hood because I grew up in Second Ward. That's where I'm from. But Alberto was still with Latin Breed, and they came, and I got to meet him, and I was I was starstruck and and he's like, hey, we're gonna go get something to eat at Don Carlos. You wanna go? I was like, I'm gonna go eat with what do I, you know? And I'm over there trying to be like all like, you know, and you know, of course he's older now, and I was, and I don't mean it, I'm saying it wrong. What I'm saying is, you know, I'm like, dude, you have no idea. The album Menace.
Oh yeah.
Like.
That's one of the best albums ever.
Las primeras gotas fueron las de un fuerte chavarrón. And I'm doing that in Don Carlos. Los que al caer en mi sombrero alegran mi corazón. Ay, 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 mi corazón. And I'm trying to emulate him, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you have no idea. And he's looking at me, he's like, man, it's been so many years, I can't even do that. You know? like to me, it's something so like, and to him, it's like, yeah, you know, I was there, I did it. I mean, you know,
a funny thing about that song, it's only like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It's so short.
But it's 2 minutes
because
and 30
the highlight is the voice.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
man.
it. It has nothing to do with the music. Although when the music comes in, it's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
It takes you to a different...
And all that's Bob, bro.
Oh,
yeah.
For sure.
Bob was awesome.
Sure.
Yeah.
And also I would like to share this. Do you know there's this song that says, Yo soy como el pobre cisne.
Yeah.
I see, I know, whatever. Yo soy como el pobre cisne que cuando canta se muere. Right? And so there's this thing called a swan song. Well, the swans, when they sing, they die. They only sing when they die. And that always stayed in my head. So then I get a call, and it's Bob, and he says, hey, you know, I got some, you know, not so good news from the doctor and whatever, this and that. And he says, but dude, he says, hey, I want to do a song, and I want to feature you on it. Because I had done all this work with him, and I always was behind the scenes. Man, he did a track for, especially there was a pastor out of Ohio or something that hired him to do a song. And one of my favorite songs is, when the Spirit of the Lord hits upon my heart, I will dance like David. And it's like, I mean, it's got this really hype feel, you know. And I remember I was there when they were recording the horns and the percussion was there, and I'm like, man, I wish he was recording this for me. Like I'm fantasizing, right?
Yeah.
And but it wasn't. It was for somebody else. And because I have no money, I'm a musician. I have no money. And so so I'm just there like at the, you know. But you know, and I was and he said, you know, I want to do a song. Well, it ended up being the last song he ever did.
That's cool.
And it's called Comprende Cariño.
Cool.
And if you look it up too, there's
it
one-
online?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They got
cool.
it. They
We're
got
gonna
it.
check
It's on
that out.
Spotify. It's called
Yeah.
Comprende Cariño, and it's an Isidro Lopez song, recorded in the 50s, man.
Shit, that's
and
badass.
he's like, hey man, this. And I remember I was in my classroom, my kids. I'm like, hey, 5, 4, so they can sit down and be quiet. And I'm like, waterfall, and they're like, shh. And Bob's on the phone.
I'm
He's
talking to Bob.
he's like, this is the song that I want to do. I was like, are you sure? Because you know, I had in my mind another song, and he's like, no, this is the one. Go ahead and start checking it out and whatever. And it came out amazing, man. And
That's
then
great.
I remember on March 2nd we were in San Antonio, and March 2nd we were in San Antonio at the Blue Cat Studios with Chente was there, Mike Guerra was there, Joaquin Cura was there, Chris Villanueva. I mean, all these Stanley Revillas on there. I mean, I'm like, oh my God, I'm walking into this room of, beasts, right?
Yeah.
And I go in there and we lay down the tracks, and then March 10th, that's Bob's birthday. We were back here and we recorded I don't know the studio. It's the first time I've ever been there, but it's somewhere towards I-10, before Katy somewhere, and around that area, I think. And then we had a steak dinner, like to honor his birthday on that day. And then a few months later, he was gone. So then when the song came out, it was like, yeah, and then I got the call to do the music for his service,
That's cool.
And so this was all like I'm in a dream, what, but yeah, man, dude, I'm living the dream, man. This is all part of it. So.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll take a commercial break and we'll be right back. We'll come down and we'll be right back.
Awesome.
Ando borracho de gusto porque tengo un nuevo amor.
sabroso hasta amanecer.
Jessica Sass. Crystals. Tell them, Jessica. Yeah.
Este nuevo ritmo es pa' que la baile toda mi gente. La cumbia sabrosa y está sonando y no va a parar. Toma a tu pareja, vete a la pista, arma el ambiente. La party está buena, disfruta y no pares de bailar. Baila conmigo, no pares ya, cumbia sabrosa para gozar. Baila conmigo, te quiero ver, cumbia sabrosa hasta amanecer. Baila conmigo, no pares ya, cumbia sabrosa para gozar. Baila conmigo, te quiero ver, cumbia sabrosa hasta amanecer. Baila conmigo, no pares ya, cumbia sabrosa para gozar. Baila conmigo, te quiero ver, cumbia sabrosa hasta amanecer. Baila conmigo, no pares ya, cumbia sabrosa para gozar. Baila conmigo, te quiero ver, cumbia sabrosa hasta amanecer.
That was good.
You're watching SCP TV.
Oh, hello. There it goes.
Welcome back. This is DJ Fluffy.
Yeah. The new DJ Fluffy. Makeover.
And we got Pete Vela, so we extended,
All right.
our show. Fluffy had to take
Go
off
to
and
work.
go to work.
Yes.
But it's okay. You got the big chair.
Yes.
So
Mr. Mike.
he's all nervous. He's like, you should be in there. It's like, no, it's you. You're in charge of the Houston chapter for the Honolulu Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Then you're also president of the Houston Legends.
Right.
So why don't you tell our audience, what you're working on for the Houston Legends, and then what to expect, for submissions for the Honolulu.
Okay. So first of all, I'd like to congratulate Jesse Vasquez, Sam, and Douglas, and of course Mike.
Thank you.
David Hernandez también. I talked to him yesterday. He couldn't make it. He's going out of town. But he said that he was going to try to tune in. So saludos para David, and these guys are awesome. I know that it took him 2 years to get into the Tejano roots, but you're finally in.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And I've been on the board of directors for Tejano roots for going on 15 years.
Oh, wow.
So I've never missed one.
Yeah.
One event. And
That's wonderful.
Proudly serving
Yes.
them, and they support what we do as well. And I'm very proud of our legends, Pete, our vice president, Sam, our board of directors, and of course our wives, Connie and Rebecca también. Awesome ladies.
For sure.
Saludos para Len. Hello, Len.
Ya se está durmiendo, Len. Ya se está.
Faster bedtime.
He said, they're talking to me.
But anyway, I just wanted to let everybody know that we're fixing to get ready for another event. This coming Sunday, January the 19th, is going to be another spectacular event. We're also going to be recognized by Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
Yes, so she's going to be there. We're going to get a congressional proclamation,
Nice.
and it's they see what we do, and you know it's for the musicians.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
And one
Thank
thing
you,
I
Mike.
love about the Houston Legends is being archived by the University of Houston. I love history and all of that. And one thing about the Tejano Roots, if you guys don't already know, your job and your mission as inductees is to reach out to other musicians, other artists, and convince them to submit their biographies so they can be recognized.
Yeah.
And I hold that
For sure.
dearly because I am like the poster woman out there, you know, advocating, go do your biography. If you don't want to do it, I'll write it for you and submit it.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So we yes, we submitted a lot of biographies and pictures and you know and everything that has to do with the inductees that, or rather the honorees that we honored. We did over 200 last year, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and also I'd like to say that we're fixing to go into the Texas State Historical Association as well.
Oh,
my God.
So we're fixing to go in there. They sent me an email the other day to get some information about our organization. They approved it, and we're fixing to go into their website as well.
That is
awesome. That's awesome.
That is really cool.
So I'm very proud of what we do, and also these guys that back me up also, Pete, Sam, Dino, también saludos para Dino.
Oh, yes, he didn't even get it.
Surprise is not here.
He has a great last name. What's his last name?
Calvillo.
Okay, cool. That's a cool.
It's not Vasquez, but
it's almost Italian.
Pero Dino's a big part of the organization también. He's good at what he does. He's very professional. And,
He is.
We admire him very much. And también JR Vargas. Happy birthday to JR.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. All right.
He couldn't be here because he's going out of town. I think we're in Austin or something like that. Yeah. He's probably eating right now. Something light.
That's JR. He's probably eating something light. Yeah, and I'd like to wish my daughter, Jaslyn Bella, it's her birthday today as well.
Oh,
happy birthday.
happy
I love
birthday.
you.
Happy birthday.
Love you. I miss you. Hopefully I'll see you soon.
Well, I'd like to also welcome a new member to the Vasquez family. I have a new nephew, Nigel,
Oh, nice.
who was just born. My baby brother had a baby yesterday. Yeah, Stacy. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, thank you guys. So,
That is so cool.
happy birthday to my dad.
Oh, happy
on
birthday.
Sunday.
Jesse, happy
Happy
birthday, brother.
birthday to Elsa as well. My dad
happy
and
birthday,
Elsa
Elsa.
share the same
Happy
birthday
birthday,
on
Elsa.
Sunday,
Awesome.
January
Happy
19th. They're Capricorn. They just missed the Aquarius. I'm Aquarius. I'm 29. So happy birthday to me too. I'm 29. It's coming up.
We went to Vegas
Y'all
on
can
your
just think
50th, remember?
you sure did.
We
Yeah,
went to Vegas on your
baby. We
50th.
did the countdown, baby.
We did the
I'll
countdown.
never forget
and
it.
we went to go eat. It was an awesome time.
Yeah, it was great.
We had a good time
Yeah.
with Jesse.
And now I'm 50.
Me and Jesse got a history together, so
We do.
We played together before, and
Oh,
he went to
hell
Vegas
yeah.
for his 50th. We had a good time. Isaac, another good friend of ours, Isaac Prieto, keyboard player for Elsa. He's an awesome dude. I love that dude. He's
Wonderful
Pecos,
guy.
Pecos, Texas. I should say.
Pecos.
And
Pecos.
he's a very, very good keyboard player, family man. I love everything about that guy. That guy's a great guy.
I agree.
Y
I agree, Pete.
saludos para mi Isaac. I love you, Isaac.
Love you
and
too,
can't
baby.
wait to see you, brother.
Yeah.
Y aquí estoy con tu favorito, Jesse.
He's not watching. He's asleep.
Yeah, well, he'll watch it. I'll have to we'll have to tell him in the morning, and they'll post it.
Yeah,
and he'll watch
he'll
it.
watch it.
Isaac
Okay,
watches
good.
everything.
Yeah, he
Isaac
does.
watches
He does.
everything.
He does. He sent me a video about the buffalo
Oh yeah, the
And
Buffalo
he's
Lynx,
mad
yeah.
because I haven't watched it. I'm just hyperactive. I can't sit there and just watch a video. I feel like I'm wasting my time.
And all of us used to play together. Isaac, Jesse, me, Uña, Polo on
Yeah.
guitar.
Yeah.
That's where Animal first started.
Matter of fact, the first band that I ever joined after Ezio Garcia was Pete's band.
Oh,
And
cool.
Uña, if anybody, that's the story I was telling earlier about Noe Hernandez saying, man, what the hell? I didn't know that my amp could sound like that, because Uña is just a
He's excellent.
monster,
Yeah, monster.
wonderful guy.
Low
Uña
key,
calls
too,
me
right?
and he says, hey, we got this band. And I'm like, Joe, what's up, man? Like, come on, man.
Get to the point.
I gotta go, bro. Well, we just want to know we're gonna play at Baras, and I was like, well, shit. Well, no, it wasn't Baras. It was Ray Ray's.
No, our first gig was at Lighthouse. You're right.
No, it's at Ray Ray's
Okay,
on
it was at Ray Ray's.
Collingsworth. Yeah, that was the one where like that. They said we're gonna do the break song, the ACD song, the ACDC. Dun, and I went dun 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 and everybody's like, "What the hell, Jesse? I thought you were good." I was like, "Well, yeah." I was just excited, shit, because I played all the other songs really well, I think, right? And then, but when it came to the break song, I never had to play no break song, because I played for an artist, you know. It's like, damn, I get to play AC/DC, shit. I don't know how to play AC/DC, but I heard it before. You think you know how to play it, but you don't know how to play it.
I can play it, and then when you do it live, you're like, oh.
But see, there's a thing about us, you know, Jesse, Uña, Polo, myself, and who was
Isaac.
Isaac. We can get together right now, and we can just jam.
Oh yeah.
Because we all know each other that well.
Yeah, for sure.
We all know each other that well. And
Just don't play AC/DC.
This dude, I've always had a whole bunch of respect for him. I love Jesse. Jesse, his whole family's always treated me great.
Thank you.
Y los quiero chingos. I saw his dad at the Tejano Roots, and man, he looks great. He lost some really good weight. He looks really good. He gets always get the name más chulo. And he looked at me and goes, "Dame un abrazo." But that's the way I get along with his family. I mean, I love his family, his mom and dad. They're awesome, man, and they're my family. I consider them my family because that's how close we've been. And a lot of our gigs were in Rosenberg.
Yeah.
We played a lot in Rosenberg back in those days.
And you're a Vela.
And I'm a Vela.
Yeah.
His
And
mom's maiden name is Vela.
Yeah.
So you're part of me, cabrón.
The stars align, bro. That's it.
And if you guys didn't know, Mike sings too.
Yeah.
Mike is a very excellent singer.
Can we get you to sing?
Not right now.
Not right now.
Mike recorded una corazonada. Corazonada. And we put it in our band, because Mike's actually our drummer with Animal, and he goes, "Oh, let's do this. We don't have all the horns, Mike." I said, "But ¿sabes qué? I got it on the accordion, bro." I was, "What's that?" And we played it, and he was like, "It worked." I told you it was gonna work. I told you it was gonna work, and it worked. So we were just, I mean, we set up. I set up, and then I said, "Mike, you want to do corazonada?" He goes, "Man, we don't have horns or anything. There's no way." I said, "Mike, don't worry about it. We got this." We did sound check. I said, "Okay, Mike, you ready? Let's do this like this." And he goes, and we did. He goes, "It's gonna come out good." It's gonna come out good. And a lot of people don't know Mike's a hell of a percussionist.
Oh yeah.
He's very, very good percussionist.
Oh yeah.
But he's so low key.
He's so
Yeah.
low key.
So low.
Yeah.
Pero ahorita que agarramos las greñas, eso me cae. Déjate caer, bro. You know, I mean, me playing with La Sombra now, it's totally different, because none of all of our shows are so different. You know, we played in Topeka, we played in Florida, we played in different places, and none of our shows are the same. That's just the way Tony is. You know, he'll change it up on you, and you better be ready. That's the way he is. That's his professionality. And then I do the same thing with my band sometimes, and they are ready. So I got some really, Rubén Mendez is my bass player.
Oh yeah.
And Mike is our drummer, and Paul Estrada is our guitar player, and everybody sings. Yeah. So when I'm having a bad vocal day, then, you know, Mike would jump in, or I'll just play accordion, and, you know, Rubén will sing a couple of songs. Rubén's a good country singer. I don't know if you guys know that. You know, he's a very good singer. So
how does that actually work? So at Houston Legends, he's your boss, and then when you're performing,
You're his boss.
It works out. It works out.
It works out pretty good.
It works out because, with the Houston Legends, we all have an opinion. We have our meetings every Wednesday. We all have our opinions, and we decide who's gonna be inducted and who's not gonna be inducted, because unfortunately there's some people that turn in their bios and it's not enough. And somebody might say, well, they did this and that, but it's not enough. And then here comes another guy and he's done a whole bunch, and I'm like, wow, just like when I called Jesse, I said, hey bro, you're well deserving of this, bro. You need it. And first of all, Jesse was like, nah, I don't know, man, at first. I said, Jesse, bro, I love you, bro. You're my brother, man. You need this. This is you. And he goes, you know what? Okay. And Jesse's like that. And that's what I love about this guy, man, because it's either right or wrong, and this guy will tell you. He will tell you, he's a straight up guy. And that's what I've always respected about him. And yo siempre he tenido ese respeto para él. And a bunch of respect for like Jesus Hernandez, so we're going to honor this.
Yeah.
That guy is an excellent keyboard player. He played with Elida for years, I think for 5 years. He played with K1. I mean, his name is David Olivares.
Yeah. Mundo,
And he calls me today and he says, Pete, you want to, I told him, if you want to perform, you can perform. Oh, I can perform. I said, yeah. And he goes, okay, all right, well, I'd love to, bro. I'd love to. I said, okay, we'll make you a spot.
I love the fact that he'll be performing. I know when we were trying to convince him to do Tejano Roots, Evelyn Vasquez, who was a photographer at the time who stepped away, she said, you need to go write his biography. And I remember having all these conversations and all these video chats, and I'm trying to write his biography.
With Jesus?
Yeah,
Well, this is funny because I played in Brian with La Sombra, and we played with Los Chamacos and Fama. And I ran into him then. And, unfortunately, he hasn't played because his son passed away. And God bless, God rest his soul and God bless his family. Because es un golpe muy chingón,
Yeah.
But I talked to him there. I said, hey, bro, we were at intermission. I think Los Chamacos had barely gotten off. And La Sombra was fixing to go on. And I grabbed him there. I said, hey, Jesse, man, I need to talk to you, bro. Well, I call him Jesse because it's in my Jesus. I call him Jesse. And he said, hey, what's up, bro? I've seen him around here and there, but I've really never had an actual conversation with him. And I finally had a conversation with him, and I say, hey, bro, I want to do this for you, man, and I think you deserve it. And he, as humble as he was, he's like, nah, I don't know, bro. I said, bro, you play with the best.
Yeah.
You play with Ella. She's a 2-time Grammy Award.
Yeah.
I mean,
she's done a lot.
You play with David Olivares. The dude's always in Mexico doing sold out shows.
Yeah.
What else do you want, bro? I mean, this is you.
Yeah.
And he goes, that night he goes, okay, here's my number.
Oh, awesome.
And we'll do it. And then I finally, the very next day, I was actually going to Vegas. The very next day, he texts me the next day and he goes, okay, I'll give you my bio this afternoon. And
awesome.
that day he gave me the bio, and I'm so glad that we're finally going to recognize him this weekend, because he's one of those guys like Jesse was well deserving, but for some reason we had to wait a little bit for him to get him in there.
I love that.
I'm glad that I wasn't recognized until the time that it came. The time that I was recognized for Tejano Roots, it was the perfect time. That's the way I feel. When I was like, shit, you're gonna be recognized, I was like, hell yeah, that's cool. I wasn't like, oh, it's about time. I was just damn, really? And I'm glad that it happened when it did.
But you got to realize, Jesse, all of us sitting here, we're fans of yours.
Oh, thank you. That's
all
very
of us
nice.
Here, we're fans of yours, and we think that you deserve this.
Well,
And we know that you deserve it. That's why we pushed it and made it happen. Yeah. And
that's nice.
Thanks a lot to Mike. That he makes a lot of stuff happen.
Oh yeah.
And you just.
Mike's my man.
There's just a lot. There's a lot of musicians like. I mean, look at this outstanding vocalist we got here.
Oh yeah.
The guy Douglas. He's been there a lot of years, and what we do at Tejano Legends, we dig them suckers out. You know, the
Yeah.
people that have been forgotten. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they haven't been forgotten by us.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna dig you out. We're gonna find you. We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you an award because you deserve it.
Well, that's
You know?
one thing I love about the Houston Legends because mostly everyone else has like a breakfast to do the honorees, but you
Yeah.
guys have a ceremony. And you guys actually are looking for the artists that, not the artists, but everyone that mattered because the artist isn't just the artist without the band.
Right.
You know, the sound engineers, you know, the light technicians, everyone works together. It's a little village to make this one person look amazing, right?
It's a lot of work. Like
It
Mike
is
said.
a lot of work.
It's
It is a
bunch of work.
lot of work. But the fact that you guys are going out there and honoring those, that letting them know they haven't been forgotten, that we, you know, we
are
know the
being seen.
sacrifice. Yeah.
They are being seen.
Yeah, they're being seen, and the sacrifices that everyone has to make just for our expensive hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it's a hobby.
Well, it's just like these three guys that well, one of the three that we're gonna recognize Sunday. One of them is Alberto Calderon. The other one is Pete Falcon, and the other one is
There's your cheat sheet.
Victor Olivo. Now, these guys, when I talk to them, they have a fantastic biography. They go back to the 70s. You know, they played the Pan American. They played with Luis Ramirez, and they used to play with Neto Perez. You know, I mean, back then, and these guys, when I talk to them, they say, "We've never been recognized. You know?
Yeah.
Nobody knows us.
Yeah.
You know, well, you know, that's what we do. This is
Yeah.
this is what the Tejano Legends Houston does, is recognize those that people have never
Yeah.
known or recognized.
They've basically been forgotten for a little bit.
So their bios is tremendous. Aquí está Danny Martinez.
Danny Martinez.
You know, he's
The
another
drummer?
excellent drummer.
Excellent drummer.
Aquí está Jesus Hernandez. Never mind him. Victor Olivo. Now this was their idea.
Well,
And
once he's on that right
that's
now, I'm
him.
going to go ahead and bring it. I'm the vice president of this organization here. So we're also going to honor Mike. Mike has
Yes.
never gotten a recognition officially. Now on Sunday, he will be officially recognized.
Yay. Finally.
At first, he's like no, and then I got together with the guys. We had finished the event, and we had gotten together, and I said, you know what? I said, and me and Dino, he goes, we need to honor Mike. I said, yeah, but it's cabezón. He doesn't want to be honored because he's the president. I said, well, you know what? We're going to change that. I'm the vice president. I got second say, so I'm going to honor him. So at the end of the day, we ended up, and I told Mike, I said, you know what? I'll sponsor you. I don't care. You can get honored. And he goes, that's nice. Okay. He didn't have a choice because he was outvoted. But congratulations, brother. We love you, and thank you for all the hard work. All the hard work.
About that often.
Oh, yeah, Connie, you sure were. Connie was a big part of
He
that.
was always on my ass because, you know, hey, you need to get recognized.
Yeah.
I said, no, you know, I don't want to be, you know, I just don't want to do it.
You didn't want to be the center of attention.
Yeah, you know.
No, it just, to be honest, let's look at the honest part of this. You know, a lot of people will say, well, he's the president, why is he
Right.
getting honored?
Right.
Well, the reason is because
He's done all this.
he's done a whole
Yeah.
bunch of all this stuff. This is Mike.
Yeah.
Just,
It
you know,
is.
get in contact. We get in contact with a lot of inductees. We get in contact with Sam. You know, a lot of people on the board. Becky does a lot of stuff for you know, as far as, you know, the backgrounds, flags, all kinds of stuff that we do. Connie does a bunch of stuff, getting them all the certificates together so they can go to the Houston University of Houston, baskets, raffles, everything that we do. We all form as a team. And believe me, and it's not all gravy sometimes, man. I mean, we have our struggles just like anybody else because this is nonprofit. Sometimes we don't make it. And I'm gonna say, you know what? Here, we're gonna make it.
Yeah.
As long as I'm here and Sam's here, you know, thank God we're okay. we'll make it happen. We're gonna make this happen.
And it happens like that.
And it happens a lot because sometimes we don't have enough funds to make everything work, but we make it happen, and we're gonna make it happen. And that's where we come in as a team, and we make things happen. That's why we have raffles, we have all kinds of stuff. If it's not enough, no big deal. We just take whatever there is, and we'll just, we'll come out of our own pockets to make it happen.
Right.
Well, Mike, it's all I can say, but you've done a great job for the organization.
He's done an
For sure.
excellent job. And
And one thing about it, Mike is a good guy to work with. He's got his points where he stands up. Same thing with Pete. Sometimes we have our meetings and we have our disagreements.
We have our
and then-
disagreements.
But the good part about it is that 2 or 3 days later,
We're still good.
Well, we come back, with
Yeah.
making
We're good.
agreement on it. So, but Mike, congratulations on it.
Yeah, I agree.
I love the fact that you guys also make it a point to recognize women. At some point in life, it would be nice if you guys have women as board of directors.
Ooh,
Oh.
that's
We
right.
got you right there.
No,
No.
that actually are recognized and actually are lined up with you guys to.
They have been recognized. They've gotten plaques. They've gotten plaques. Both of the women have gotten plaques. They have been recognized for their hard work because they are behind the scenes, and they do not get the recognition that they should. And you're exactly right. But they are a big part of what we do. A very big part of what we do. Rebecca and Connie, both of them. I mean, I can stand up. This jacket, Rebecca made it. This way, which way do I go? Right here. Okay. This jacket, my wife Rebecca made it, and because she makes, she loves to do stuff like that. And then Sam and Mike are always, they're getting shirts without me getting one. So today I got a jacket and they didn't get one, so it's my turn. But they do an excellent job, and we appreciate both of them and everything that they do, along with Priscilla and all the girls that help us. Rafaela, my brother Robert helps us. They all volunteer. My brother Robert, who also
Robert.
Priscilla's husband, what's his name? Lance, he helps us. He's the tallest guy, so we put him on lights to take the lights down. So.
We have a woman, I'm just saying, that I fought tooth and nail just to get the Houston chapter for the South Texas Conjunto Association. Lupe Sainz has owned it for 27 years. And finally, to get a woman to have their own chapter, it was fighting tooth and nail. And eventually, I would like to see the other organizations also have women on the board, helping making those decisions and standing in the front line.
Sitting at the table, like they say.
Sitting at the table,
Yeah.
yes, rather than behind the scenes.
Yeah, well, there's 30 chapters altogether in this organization, the Tejano Legends Pioneers organization, but we're the only ones that do the. Of course, every chapter does their own thing.
Yes, yes.
And they manage their organization the way they want to, but.
You guys are the only ones that have ceremonies every month, which I love. I love that.
Wow.
But anyway, I'm proud of this team, and I'm proud to be with you guys as well. And
I'm proud to be inducted. My journey started in chapter 9, and I love that, man. Yeah.
Well,
you were one of the first ones, man.
Yeah.
I go back a long ways also because my dad was the bass player, and funny that you say that you always notice the bass players.
Yeah.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I love a good bass player.
Yes.
But that's what always works because the drums always match with the bass.
You have to.
And the accordion always matches.
They're like the married unit of the
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And Jesse would always ask me, like, when you couldn't make it, Pete, who's playing bass?
That's always.
That was always it. Well, I don't
Always.
care if you're singing or playing accordion, Pete. I want to know who's playing bass. And that's rightfully so, man.
I get called now. Hey, I have this gig. Who's playing bass? That's all I want to know.
I asked that a lot of
Yeah,
times.
that's all I need. But, no, I don't want to do the gig.
And
Yeah.
one of the things about our chapter, I'm very comfortable with because Ruben Arismendes is
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Arismendes, I know he's a tremendous bass player.
He's a beast.
And he's always there.
He's so
Yeah.
humble, man.
I don't have to worry about, I don't even have to ask him, hey, will you come? And another person that's always there is
Ruben Laredo.
Ruben Laredo.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
Laredo,
always
yeah.
there,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and Gonzalo Perez.
Yeah.
A big shout out to these guys. They're awesome guys.
Yeah,
And
because we have our regulars that, you know, sometimes, you know, I don't have to call them. They just,
Yeah.
hey, you want to?
That's nice.
They just show up.
Yeah, both
Because-
Rubens and-
because they love it, you know.
Both
they-
Ruben and Gonzalo, they've been a big part of our organization, and they're there to help us out with the music, and a big shout to them, like I said.
Oh, and they're masters of their craft, man. They're masters.
Ramiro Cruz has a very great idea. Baseball players all have baseball cards.
Yeah.
Football players have football cards. When is Tejano and Conjunto Musicians gonna be on cards?
Oh, cool.
That's a good one.
Cool.
That's a good
That's a
one.
good idea.
You need to go ahead and trademark that. Copyright that.
We're gonna have cards when SCP
Right.
sponsors them.
Oh.
We'll make our own, right, Michael?
Hello, Mike. Mike, where are you, Mike?
We have our own Loteria shirts.
If I can point out something, you know, with this organization, as far as also not only do we recognize the legends of the people that are alive, but we've also recognized the ones that have been gone, and they were forgotten, and we're bringing them back out. You know, like a couple of them. Eloy Perez was a big icon, you know, back in the day. You know, as far as I can remember. So we honored him, and that's how we got to the Texas Historical. And we even had the mayor of Gonzales, Texas, come out for that solo event, and he's the one that's got us recognized with the Historical Association. But also we also recognized Luis Gonzalez. He was a singer with Eloy Perez. We just did him just our last show. So I mean, if we're not trying to be particular with anything, and there's something, just grab one of us or send us a letter or send us an email and say, hey, you know, my uncle, my grandmother, my grandfather, you know, was a musician. Hey, you know,
That was
get
gonna be my
get our attention, and we will, you know, bring them up.
That was
into
gonna
it.
be my
Recognize.
thing, you know, because I know that we're hungry and we want to eat, and those papas look really, really good. And we do have to wrap up the show, and I want to thank you guys so very much for being
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you for
There's
having
so
us.
much history in this room, and I love the fact that even with Houston Legends and the Honolulu, you guys are inspiring the younger generation by what you're doing. And I'm going to go down around the table, and I'm going to ask you guys this one question. What piece of advice was given to you by someone that you admired, that you hold true to this day? I know I stumped you guys.
Who are you going to start with?
Who are you gonna start?
Right here, yeah. Right here, so
The piece of advice that somebody,
gave you that you hold true to this day.
mine would have to be Tony from La Sombra. Mine would have to be Tony. That my first gig with La Sombra was in Chicago. It was in front of 15,000 people, sold out crowd. They closed the doors. Those people still lined up outside. And I was really, really nervous. And then Tony and Cruz both got me backstage, and they saw how nervous I was because I'm playing with them somewhere, right? And I was like, man. And then Tony goes, hey, bro, they're just people. You go out there and do what we rehearsed, and you're going to be fine. After the first song, I was really nervous. I was playing my accordion like this, you know, Prieta's our first song, and when I hit those first two notes, I heard Tony in my head again, just practice what we. I was just nervous because there's a bunch of people, and we were in Tony's hometown, in Aurora. You know? So that's I have to say that Tony has actually made me a better musician. Cruz has made me a better musician. Those guys have always, they never bring a person down. They never talk bad about people. They never, like a musician, as a part of La Sombra now. Now I see how he runs the band and how he is with his musicians, and he will make you a better musician. And he's a perfectionist, and he'll say, "Hey, I was in the studio with Tony," and he turned around because when I'm recording with him, he's got his back towards me, and he turned around and he said, "You know what? Hey, wait, you can do better. I know you can do better." And I was playing accordion, and that hit me. He goes, "You know what?" Because I was nervous. I was recording my first time.
So he had to calm you down.
And then, I mean, you're talking about an iconic band here, La Sombra. So I'm like, okay. And so after that, full blown. Now when we play, I'm like ready, and all of our shows are different, and he lets me do what I want to do, and he gives me solos now. I do my solo things. Albert Tiger Diaz, all these guys that are in the band. I mean, they're just excellent musicians. Cruz got honored with Jesse, you know, at the Tejano Roots. They're all those guys. They don't bring you down. They bring you up. And it's like, hey, you know, and we played in San Juan here. What was it? This
for their
past summer.
festival.
Yeah, you were there, right? Oh wait, you passed by there.
Right, we passed by there.
Yeah,
I saw you.
You know,
yes, it was packed.
It was packed. And Albert said, "Hey man, do whatever you want to do, man. The stage is yours." And then Bobby goes, "Pete, if you're gonna be in the front with Tony, you better play your ass off." And I looked at him and said, "Hey, and so, but you know, te animan. You know what I'm saying? Instead of bringing, hey, you screwed up. No, they just, you know, you could do better. Let's move it. Let's move along. You made a mistake. Okay, fix it. Fix it on the next one and run around." I would say Tony from La Sombra with Tony and Cruz, and those were the guys that actually inspired a whole bunch.
Cool. Jackie?
Well, shit. There you go. I don't know about inspiration because there's a story that I always tell. I was 13 years old and I was in Richmond, Texas at Torres Ballroom, and it's a long story, but I was there at La Mafia soundcheck, and this was La Mafia's Michael Aguilar's first album with La Mafia. And he had this Remo kit, and they were. It's so funny. I was just telling this story today, actually. Torres Ballroom had a narrow stage, and La Mafia at that time had like a big production. So what they did, they put Michael Aguilar on a side of the stage, so he had to like look down the stage. And I remember being next to the pool table and seeing Michael Aguilar, and going up to him and saying, "Hey, you know, because I love La Mafia," and he had this Remo kit, and it was a different kind of kit, like where you could like pick up the lugs. It's a long story. Anyway, fast forward like 15 years later, we're in San Benito, and I'm with Elsa's band, and I tell him this story. "Hey, do you remember, you know, at Torres Ballroom and this and that and that?" And he looks at me, and I knew he was sincere. And he goes, "That was you?" And I said, "Yeah, man, that was me." He said, "Man, dude, thank you for not being a mocoso. Like, you were like a 14-year-old kid." And he goes, "You have no idea how many 14 and 15-year-old kids would just be asking me all these questions and doing all these things. And you let me sort of school you." So he was the one that sort of showed me, like, he showed me his kit, he showed me all these things. And to me, he kind of showed me how to be as a musician. And the fact that I loved his style and the way he played, and that he was so approachable, that sort of, aside from the fact that I'm sort of like, my style is Michael Aguilar, Adam Garza, Adam Mosquera. I have a whole bunch of different people that I picked up from. I just really loved the fact that I was like 21, 22, and I have Michael Aguilar from La Mafia telling me, "That was you?" So that's my story. Yeah. Love it. Because he remembered me, you know? Yeah, he remembered me. And that's why we're friends now. We're still friends. Sorry.
There's a couple of drummers that have inspired me. One of them is Ernest Ruiz. You know, he the drummer for the Chacho.
Yes.
The original Chacho. Well, and then there's another one, Pete Garza.
Yes.
Que le dicen la negra.
Yeah.
He used to play with Bobby Nanapo and Steve Jordan.
Yes, 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 yes.
So those two guys were really good, well, good friends of mine. So one day, because I used to play for los Nuevos Técnicos back in the 80s, and Chacha Jimenez came and recorded with us and on one of the tracks, of our CD, our album that we recorded on los Técnicos. And Ernest Ruiz came along, we became good friends, and then the following day they were in town because we were going to play at the Quintero's Ballroom in Galveston, I believe.
Yeah.
Is it Quintero's or
Quintero in Galveston?
Yeah, in Galveston. And so I was playing for los technicals and all that, and then Ernest Ruiz was watching me. He said, "Man, you play good. You play real good." Long story short, he called me one time on the phone. Ernest, he says, "Hey man, I'm fixing to retire from the Chachas because I'm gonna go do some other stuff." He says, "Chacha was really impressed on how you play. He liked your style. You don't overplay. You're a pocket drummer, and that's what he likes." So that stuck to me, So I left Los Técnicos. We were right in the middle of we had gigs. I mean, we had gigs. Back in those days, everybody was playing.
Right.
Everybody had somewhere to play. Well, I was playing with Los Técnicos, and Chacha calls me and says, "Hey man, I need a drummer for this weekend. It's gonna be in Mission, Texas. All expenses paid. I'll pay for your plane and all this. But I need an answer now. If not, I've got to find somebody else." I said, "Hell yeah, hell yeah!"
That's a good story. Yes.
I'll be there, and so I played with Chacha for about 4 or 5 years.
That's
nice, bro.
And that was my best.
Yeah.
My Ernest Ruiz was.
Did you do any percussion with him, Mike?
No.
I love that.
No. Back in those days, it was different. I played with Jesse Serrata and Oscar Hernandez. We did some work with Snowball, también, Ramiro de la Cruz, and a bunch of guys. So I'm an old school.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, brother.
Those two guys are one of my favorite drummers.
That's great.
Well, going back, I guess, when I would go with my grandfather to help him set up his equipment, and I just see Robert Aguilar when he was coming in. And Joe Rodriguez was the drummer, was also singing with my grandfather, so that combination, and Joe Rodriguez and Robert Aguilar were real good friends, and, they were real, as far as up until just recently that Joe passed away. It was always that combination that they had, and Joe was until I started getting into it. Then my grandfather also too was just saying, well, just, you're doing good, just keep up. And my dad was saying, keep doing what you're doing, and eventually I know you want to get up, to the big band stuff. And my biggest moment was when my dad told me one day that Eloy Perez, when he used to play at the Club Sevilla downtown and stuff like that, and my dad told me, well, get your sticks and come on. And I said, what? He said, get your sticks and come on. It's the first time I got into the big orchestra type and stuff like that. And that was exactly what I wanted to do. But Robert Aguilar him play, that's what I wanted to do. That just gave me a big thing to say what I wanted to do. And I saw Robert, because when we honored Robert a few months ago, and I hadn't seen Robert in a while because he was in the West Coast and stuff like that. I seen him again. Such a laid-back guy. Of course, I knew Michael too. Michael También is such a nice guy and stuff like that. And Michael being the drummer that he is, and both of them was a big influence on me.
Nice.
Stuff like that. And like I said, my dad also too was very, a soft-spoken man, but every time he talked, it was something that you'd listen. He wasn't telling you something that he was going to mislead you. It's because he was telling you what the reality was.
Yeah,
It's like,
nice.
he would tell me, hey, y'all playing tonight? He said, yeah, where y'all playing? We're going to go play in the valley, something. He was like, okay, be careful. I mean, I was still like 15, 16
Yeah,
years old.
exactly.
You behave out there and watch the road. Dad, that was back in your day, Dad. I mean, we got it. And believe me, it wasn't anything different from
Yeah.
the time that they played to the time, everything.
Yeah.
And of course, all the things that went on. But up until now, all that comes back. It still
Nice.
comes back, after that I've been playing,
Yeah.
55 years. And
That'll
seeing
come
this
back.
at 55 years, I tell you, it was worth it.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Did you have all the lights on your drums?
No, I just have one light. One light for one you pulled up.
All right, Douglas, your last.
I
What,
love
what
this.
piece of advice?
Sure, I love this. I love this question because it made me think of. I'm going to share two short anecdotes. One of them, I remember being a kid, and my dad was not a musician. We're the first musicians, myself and my brother, and my brothers. We're the first musicians in our family. But I remember my dad talking about when he would go to the dance at the Pan American, and they would dress up. He said, "No, hombre, no estaban, we weren't tirados and whatever." He said, "We would wear nice suits and everything. Everybody was dressed up." And I remember him reminiscing about this, and he was describing how the bandstand was really high at the Pan American, and there was horns playing. And the way he described it, it just made me want to be there. I could picture myself there, and I knew that's what I wanted to do, And he says, and then he comes out in a white tuxedo, and it's Sonny Osuna. And he goes, and everybody's just waiting, man. He said, everybody's just waiting, and then he go, talk to me, and the band.
Yeah.
He goes, man, and everybody's dancing, they're holding the girl. And I remember the emotion and that he was reliving that moment, and I relived it with him, and that gave me a little piece of, man, I want to do that, right? When I was a kid. The second thing I want to say is, so that inspired me to be a musician, an entertainer, because we entertain. That's what we do. And the other thing is, a few years ago, a friend of mine, her brother was getting married in Odessa, Texas. And we go to church together, so she said, we would love for you to do the music, so we'll pay your way over there and whatever. And I said, it's going to be during the summertime. That's when I'm off from school, so I'm going to make a trip out of it with my family, right? So we jumped in the car, my wife, my son, my daughter, so there's four of us, and we're driving to Odessa. And if you've ever driven that way, you'll see that it's like so flat.
It's so flat. Yeah.
Oh my God, it plays with your depth perception because we're used to being right here in the barrio, right? And anyway, it's 9 hours of nothing, And I remember my wife and my daughter were in the back seat. They got in, they got kind of comfy, and they started sleeping, and I had my son in the front, and I said, this is a good father-son time to talk, right? And I said, son, do you know, have I ever shared with you what my testimony is? How I found God and what happened to me, and he's like, no. And so I shared it, right? And one day I'll share it with you. But I shared everything that happened to me, what I discovered and how God had touched my life, and I told him what I saw and how I felt and where I was at my lowest and how I was at my highest, and how I was confused about still how to do this and how to do that and how to be a good father, how to be a good husband. And then when I was done, it was just quiet. And I remember I felt a little awkward because I felt like I needed him to say something. But he was contemplating, I could tell he was thinking. And then I said, so what are you thinking, son? And I'm driving. And he looks at me, he goes, I'm thinking it sounds like a saint story. Like a story of a saint. And it didn't hit me till another 5 hours down the road. that I was thinking because he went to Catholic school, so he had studied about saints. So I said, he's talking about maybe Saint Augustine or no, he meant me and how I'm not there yet. Wow, I wish I was a saint, but I'm far from it, right? But that inspires me to be who I am.
Nice.
Not just in music, but
Well, we want to thank everyone for joining us.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys coming in. We're going to go ahead and end the segment, and we're going to see you. I'll see you at some
Okay.
point
Sunday, hopefully.
You know, I got to get out of work.
You got off?
No.
But I will get out of work
Try to.
early,
She's gonna
my best. to
feel
be
sick.
there.
You're
But
gonna be sick and
I
come.
will be there for February. I will be there for March and going forward because I made it a point to request the third Sunday of every month off for the rest of the year. So I can be there. But thank you so very much. I appreciate everything you guys have done.
Thank
for the
you.
music industry
Thank you for having
and
us.
everything that you're doing
Congratulations
to keep-
again.
To keep everything alive. So thank you.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Thank you.
Well,
see you
let's
guys.
say
Yeah.
thank you to our sponsors, Las
Thank you,
Brasas,
yes,
for always
Las
feeding
Brasas.
our
Oh,
guests.
always.
Potatoes.
Yes, for feeding our guests, and also to Blue Chair Bay and George with margaritas. Hopefully he's
Parties
doing
for
better.
you.
Parties for you. Hopefully he's doing a lot better, and we miss him. Hopefully we get to see him
Yes,
soon.
yes, yes. And
And-
Golden Eagle.
Golden Eagle Guns, yes.
Yes.
So
All
thank you
right,
guys.
so thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Take care. Please
Thank
tag.
you.
Tejano
See you guys
legends.
next week.
Yes. Thank you.
This is your boy, Light Jockey Mike, and I just wanted to thank you for supporting SCP Radio. That's the end of our show, but please be sure to check us out on SpaceCadetPro.com, where you will be able to watch our videos, find and like all of our social media accounts, and chat with us. While you are there, click on the radio tab, where you will be able to see the show schedule and all of the different ways to reach us. You can also listen to us from there if you are on a PC or laptop. Thanks again, and remember, we are the future in entertainment.